You're going to dissect what you've seen, what's annoyed you, what you've liked.
Yep.
And I'm here so you don't talk for ages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
Never managed to do that before.
No. This is better sitting here. We should have had the panels further up, shouldn't we?
Much better sitting here, isn't it?
Leave us talking, we'll empty the room.
Just got it's called stagecraft. It's called stagecraft. That's what I do in my spare time.
We're not going to talk about that. That's fine. What I'm here for. About the event, though, let's dissect. Like, there's been a lot, hasn't there? There's been, a lot of discussion and debate. So, what have you seen? We've got a buyer and a seller, or a builder, let's say, but media owner and media agency represented.
Okay, so this is, in no particular order, I've just written down networking the best it's ever been. Because there's so many people here, networking, best it's ever been, but we need more time to network. And I actually need my own room, to be honest. I could do with Jeff's area, and then we just have a list, and then you take a thing out and you get 10 minutes with me.
And just in Simon's area, but you've got a selection of gins in there as well.
This is like being with your parents at Christmas time. I'm not having you just sit here criticise the event. Let's talk about the content. Okay?
Fine.
So you need more time.
Okay. So
you need your own toilet. Got it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Good things. Behaviour was spelt correctly on every single chart, which is good. Okay.
I knew it'd be like this.
And
sorry, y'all visiting from over
there was only 15 words that weren't real, because that's I'm
Did
afraid.
You list them?
I have got a list of them, but I'm not going to go through them now.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, it tends to be our American friends that like to make up words.
Genuinely fewer of them this year. Did you notice that?
Yeah, noticed that. That's why behaviour was spelled correctly.
They spent all their money. They spent all their marketing money in Cannes.
Yep. Yeah. First serious highlight. I mean, the content I thought, or everything I saw was pretty good. Okay. There's some highs and some lows, and we'll talk about the highs because it's not. I hate talking about the lows, but I thought for me the first real big one was Mark Frayne. Mark Frayne's transformation of Foxtel.
Yeah,
that's a serious journey. I actually know him quite well, and when it was MCN, because we had a lot to do with them with some of the AdSmart stuff. And what they've done there seems to be absolutely brilliant. And I think he gets a point because I think he's possibly the only person that absolutely mentions sustainability within his presentation and has that on their mind. And certainly for us at Sky, we absolutely have that now as a key target, which is, to keep databases just that, keep them cleaner, keep them better, keep them faster, keep them, so that those sorts of things don't just keep data for the sake of it, right? So,
do you like those specifically, like how he's not running away from streaming? They're embracing it.
Absolutely, love it.
That's the key, isn't it?
I've written top of this. I've written 2 or 3 years ago. We were here. We were kind of didn't really know what convergence meant, and we have a thing called, your problem solving. Your first part of problem solving is unconsciously incompetent. Okay, and probably 2 or 3 years ago, we were all kind of not knowing what the problem was. Now, I think we're consciously incompetent. We actually now know what we don't know, which is the absolute first step to solving the problems. Okay, and that's been demonstrated for me in pretty much every one. The conversation is considerably better than it was a year or 2 years ago. For me, I don't know whether everybody else feels that, but it has got better. Anyway.
Thank you, Jeff. 2 awesome days plus a fantastic Beat TV day.
We just found out why you haven't retired.
Why's that?
Well, you're seriously underpaid because you work in TV, according to Scott. So that's why you're still here, thankfully.
Fine.
Yeah.
Probably right, actually.
Yeah.
The key thing is, though, for me, to Jeff's point, I think the engagement and the discussion level has reached a new level. I definitely see some green shoots. It's not collaboration. I hate the word collaboration.
So do I.
It's coming together with convergence. It's working together. But one of the things Jeff and I have been talking about is the need. It's essential, and this pays back to the sustainability discussion, which, for those of you that are aware of it, I mean, we have a very strong position on that in GroupM. We actually have a net zero calculator about a media plan. We do not want to have multiple carbon creation where we can avoid it. We need a single end-to-end ecosystem. It needs to be something that the industry can use, and it needs to be transparent, it needs to be capable of growth, etc., etc. But we've got too many individual silos still, and I said this on Monday. Yeah, I'm fed up with it. Absolutely delighted to hear from Disney, from Netflix, from Sky. We heard from ITV a lot on Monday, and I was absolutely delighted. They are a client, complete disclosure here, and we're their largest trading partner, so it's a very interesting relationship. Google were here. Now, that was not the case a few years ago.
Well, you can't have a serious feature TV event without them, can you?
Absolutely not.
I think it's grown up. So for me, that's the key things that are positive. Great things were somebody mentioned a 30-second Coronation Street mid-break.
Come on.
It used to, I can tell you, it used to, in 1983, it was a 24 rating and cost £22,000.
Yeah.
For a 30-second spot.
Took you back to when you were 50.
It did. And I've never heard so many names dropped by a single presenter.
Oh.
To Tom. He got 3 professors.
Yep.
Karen Nelson Field, Byron Sharp and Mark Wrightson.
Yeah.
He also got Les and Peter in there, Burnett and Field.
Yep. Yeah.
And also Guido. I mean, he got Erwin Efron. I don't think everybody in the room probably even knows who Erwin Efron is. Google him and read what he wrote. Nothing's changed.
But that actually reminded us of the real basics. We both loved the long and the short, and what's it called, bothism, right? I thought that was great, even though it was 2 charts that were up far too, but weren't up for long enough. It takes me time to get my head around a chart. And
don't you think that reminds us that actually the foundation of effectiveness is based on marketing science that basically occurred like 50, 60 years ago, and we were just reminded of it?
Basics.
Yeah.
And I thought he did it, he updated us, and I thought that was top notch.
Slightly fucked it up with that Facebook slide.
Well,
I know. He was going well then, wasn't he?
He was going well, but yeah.
Classically, the whole thing had been set up earlier in the day because Don Draper was up there. And actually, that's what it's about. It's about brand advertising. We're not buying impressions. We're buying audiences. We're buying interactions with touch points. You know, and for me, I think the content in a lot of the presentations was actually very biased. Of course, I can't imagine why. But I thought the Finecast spot was great with some case studies. Too many probably. But I would urge, perhaps in future years, more case studies, because I think people learn from case studies. So presenters, please put case studies in. The 7-1 research from Guido, very interesting.
Yes, yep.
So all in all, you know, it's getting better and better, and we're talking about effectiveness, we're talking about value. You know, to put the attention debate to one side, it is a single metric as much part of a bigger issue. But one of the things Jeff and I wanted to talk about was the creative optimization.
Yes, absolutely. So look, we've got, on those sorts of things, we've got thinking about impressions and impacts. We did think that in this journey of convergence, there is a tendency, we absolutely know, we're taking all that's good from the digital world, of the targeting elements, the individualization of the cell and the targeting in that side, and the linear side, which is about mass, and we all know that, okay? But we're not careful. The middle isn't splitting the atom, okay? So there's quite a few discussions about that seem to go, for me, far too deep into getting television to be literally a personal thing, and I really don't think that's how it's good and how it works, which is one of the reasons, dare I say, that the AdSmart model was no smaller than 5,000 clusters, and it still works incredibly well, right? 5,000 is a really small number, okay? When you talk, so I did think occasionally I've got my notes going, really. Are we worrying about this when we should
Jeff,
be worrying about
we're down to our last minute or so,
Are we?
mate. Yep.
Oh, God. Can we mention
I've been looking at it. I don't know if you have. Anyway.
I never look at the time. It never bothers me ever.
There's one issue that is really close to both of our hearts, and that is how do we do
things, correct. So even though we know we're not running this conference, okay,
This isn't supposed to be a critic.
I know, I appreciate that. It's not, but it's the way we feel.
There's an awful lot of sensitivity.
I am sensitive about it.
Have you not noticed? Don't be sensitive. Yeah. Not surprisingly, I end up building stuff, okay? And so I'm right at the pointy end with the data files and things like that. And there's one of the analogies that I always go, which is the data is the new oil. but oil comes out the ground crude, and so does most data sets. Okay, and they need to be refined and they need to be standardized so that we can get them in the diesel cars and the petrol cars and whatever we do. And we need to start doing that. We need to have discussions about and it's my old thing I say all the time, standardization of the data, which starts at making sure a commercial is identified uniquely. Okay, so certainly for me, for 2023, I'll absolutely start. Have done some work in it in 2022. I might be able to give you where we are in 2023, but urge everybody, please, let's start talking about how we use the data and the standardization of it. And we'd love a little bit of a section.
Can I just ask a topic? Yeah, it's all right. I'll let you.
One final comment to add to that. On the agency side, guys, this is vital for us. I've got hundreds of people around the world sitting with Excel spreadsheets, extracted API files, who all they are doing is putting them into a single harmonized format. It's a complete waste of time and money. Those people should be planning media campaigns, working with the client on briefs, and dealing with creativity and communication.
Good opportunity to sell you some tech on a nice little SaaS little business. And do that for you, automate.
Final shout out, because you gave Jamie a shout out, that is it DPG, the guy from Belgium, brilliant.
That was a brilliant presentation,
seriously,
by the way.
Absolutely brilliant model of where a lot of us are trying to go. Yeah. Brilliant model.
So Justin, one thing we want to say.
Oh my God.
It's been a while, mate. We've been doing this for a few years. We're not doing this, but this is the second one. I think it's the last.
It is, yeah. Never ask us again.
You set this up originally.
Yeah.
We've been with you on the ride. Where you've ended up, mate, and with new colleagues like Steve and Greg and all the team, Media Leader, it's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you to everybody for running it.
I've been to hundreds of these conferences. This, for me,
the best.
Every year is the one I go to.
Absolutely.
Now, that is the bit I did set up. So thank you very much, you two. I appreciate that.
Great.
Let's have a beer.
Oh, and Steve as well.